Good morning. All right. How is everybody doing? Let's get rolling here. I'll get this out of the way right now. If you can see it. Yeah. Okay. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope that you were able to get outside, be active. And today, we're getting right back to it. It's Monday. Let's get started. As usual, I should mention that now's a good time to just set up a little music. It'll sound better. Let's see if that will be okay there. It'll sound better. You can choose what you want to listen to. You'll be able to hear me talking. What's up, Peter? Here and ready to work out. All right, so let's get started. Maricella's here. Good morning. Let's get started. Why does everything look so crooked here? Okay, let's get started with actually just some simple squat mobility. So if you clasp your hands, bring your elbows inside your knees, and then sit down into a squat where we can kind of work those knees out wider to the sides. Then you can move through different heights of that squat. If you need to have your heels in, toes out slightly, that's an option. And then use those toes to grip the floor so that when you stand, you can keep almost twisting the floor to keep those knees out. So we can move through some squats right here. If you need to spend a minute kind of stretching those hips open a little more with your elbows, good option as well. But as we do this, we're warming up glutes, warming up those legs, watching the knees, keeping those wide knees. And then let's actually use one elbow pressed against the inside of one knee to get a little bit of a twist here through the spine as well. So this is going to be, my back just popped. This will be a good way to get that thoracic spine moving. Get your back between the shoulder blades loosened up a little bit. That's where we tend to be tight, especially if you're working from home. Maybe you're dealing with your kids' online learning. Those are all things that can stress you out, maybe leave you in a seated position for a long time. And this is a good way to just get those shoulders moving again. All right, from there, let's take feet wide apart, really, really wide. And then we're gonna sit down onto one heel here. Now, creeping fingers across the floor, we're gonna sit down on the other side. And we're just gonna keep moving back and forth a few times here. If you're not able to sit all the way down, you can always stay a little bit higher here. You still want to extend one leg at a time. You get that active hamstring stretch. And again, you're just going to get those legs fired up. From there, let's come on down. Let's set up on the mat here. Again, getting upper body and shoulders warmed up. Let's start with a push-up. So you can either do this from your knees or your toes. Then at the top of the push-up, we're going to move toward downward facing dog. And we're going to go for more of a shoulder push-up here. Now back to your normal push-up setup. Go for one, and then move back. Go for one. Keep on going here. One more of each. Good. Come on down and rest here. And then the last little bit of warm-up work that I want to start with is just tracing circles with those arms. We're going to start by reaching fingertips toward the floor, reaching those fingertips nice and far forward, and then circling those arms back. And that way you're really focusing on how that shoulder joint is built to move. And if we can reach those fingertips long here, by the time you raise those hands overhead, it ought to feel a little bit easier to move. You need to go one arm at a time, then you can get a little bit more sort of twisting open with that stretch. Try to trace the largest circle that we can here. Let's do the same on the other side. So for today's workout, we'll run through 3 circuits 3 times through each circuit. So for the first one, it's actually going to be maybe a little mellower. That's okay, it's a good thing. So we're going to start laying on your side with your bottom leg bent, and then you're going to keep that top leg straight. I want you to point your belly button toward the floor, and then by flexing your buns, you're going to pull this top leg slightly back behind you. And then from there, we're going to go 30 seconds of lifting on one side. We'll switch sides, 30 seconds on the other. Oh, and then actually from there, we'll just come up to standing, and we'll run through butt kickers. So standing in place, just moving as quick as you can, getting those legs working. So let's start there. Come on down to your mat. Lying on your side, doesn't matter which side you start on. Bottom knee bent. That bottom leg is going to keep you stable. It's going to keep you from rolling back. Now point your belly button toward the floor. Flex your glutes on that top leg. Top leg is pulled back behind you. Ready, set, go. We're lifting and lowering here. As you lift that leg, the tendency will be to sort of roll your hips open. We want to keep hips stacked one on top of the other. Belly button points toward the floor. Five seconds to go here. Good. And then let's switch sides. So again, roll that top hip forward to point your belly button down, and then go 30 seconds on the second side. So this is not only going to use your glutes, using those hip muscles here, but we're also using the core, because you've got to keep a relatively straight spine while keeping your belly button pointed at the floor. 3, 2, 1, and stand. Next, we're doing those butt kickers. Standing in place, ready, set, go. Move as quick as you can here. You can also just jog or shuffle in place, no matter what though. Keep moving. We want to get that heart rate up here. 8 more seconds. And time. All right, we're coming right back down to the mat. Starting back with the first hip abduction exercise. Ready, set, go. If you need to modify, you can do a clamshell with both knees bent. just stacking one foot on top of the other. Feet will stay together here. This is a good alternative. This is a chance to make sure that you're keeping one hip stacked on top of the other and that you're not rolling back. We just want the knee to lift. Don't want to shift the hips. 5 more seconds here. Good. Switch sides. If you're modifying with the clamshell, ready, set, go, no matter what you're doing. But if you're modifying, think of squeezing glutes tight every time and keeping your hips steady while the knee moves. 15 seconds to go here. Whichever variation you're choosing right now, keep moving nice and steady the whole time. 3, 2, 1, and stand. We're back to those butt kickers. Ready, set, go. Fifteen seconds left. Move those feet as fast as you can here. And time. All right, one more round here. Ready, set, go. You don't have to lift that leg crazy high. And if you lift it too high, you might feel some sort of pinchiness, kind of pinching discomfort on the top side of your hip. Good, for 5 more seconds. And switch sides. And ready, set, go. No matter what, keep that top leg moving for the entire 30 seconds. The nice thing about doing this exercise first is that we know we'll get the right muscles working before we jump into the more sort of technical movements. 3, 2, 1, and stand. Last round of butt kickers here. Ready, set, go. Fifteen seconds left. Three, 2, 1, and time. Nice. All right. Hey Peggy, how's it going? And the jelly made it. All right. It's good to have you all. Oh, and Marisa's here. And Gloria's back. We got the whole crew reading through your comments here. Thanks for showing up. It's definitely good to have a group to work out with. So, if having this normal meeting time is useful for you, I think that's awesome. It's good to be able to know you've got to show up for a set time. And then if it's useful to do the workout later, you can always pull up these videos after the fact and do the workouts on your own. I think they put the same, we're putting the same videos on Facebook, YouTube, the club app, all that good stuff. So you got a lot of ways to find it. All right, next, we're coming down to the mat for a push-up. But what we're gonna do today And this won't change. You can do the same variation whether you're on your knees or your toes. We're going to start with a normal push-up. However, it's going to be useful to have those feet, or if you're on your knees, set your knees up a little bit wider apart. Whichever you choose, that will give you more stability, because we're going to go for 1 rep, and then we're going to reach one hand forward, push up, reach the other hand forward. We'll just keep alternating here. The key is to do this without rocking your body to one side. From there, we'll come down to the mat. Laying on your stomach, you can either rest your head on a towel, or you can just rest your head on the floor. We're going to make a W shape with our arms. We're going to keep that core engaged, and we're going to lift those hands and arms off the floor. And think of keeping your entire forearm parallel to the floor, so that as you lift, your elbows and hands are the same height off the floor. So that's going to be a lot of work for the mid-back muscles right between the shoulder blades. All right, Peggy says, oh, some good neck stretches. Yeah, so absolutely. So at the end of the workout today, let's do some neck stretching. Yeah, and if this is the first time that you're hearing about these workouts, tell everybody. We'll get a bigger crowd here. So we'll finish the workout with some neck stretching. I'm gonna make a note right now so I don't forget. But for this next circuit, we've got those push-ups, we've got the W, and then what we're gonna do to drive that heart rate up is we're gonna start with feet wide. We're gonna squat down and touch the floor, and then we're gonna hop feet together. Feet wide, touch the floor with the other hand, hop feet together. And we'll just work nice and quick there. So, start out with that push-up. Come on down to the mat. Let's get started with the single arm reach. Ready, set, go. Move at a pace that you can control. When you reach that one arm forward, focus on keeping your hips and your shoulders steady. 5 seconds left. Good. Okay, come on down to your mat. Laying on your stomach, either a towel rolled up under your forehead, or rest your head on the floor. W's. We're going. Every repetition, squeezing the shoulder blades together as we pull them down toward our back pockets. So there's no shrugging here. And time. All right, go ahead and stand. We've got those squats next. Ready, set, go. Move as quickly as you can here. 10 seconds left. Three, two, one, and rest. Let's take a little breather here. Jen, it sounds like you're gonna hop in and do the workout later too. That's awesome. Well, thanks for showing up right now, get an idea of what we're running through, and then if you need to do the workout later, by all means, do this on your own time. Okay, so we're back to that push-up. This time, now that you've got a feel for it, Focus on keeping your hips level and your shoulders level. So as you reach that one arm forward, don't let those hips rock side to side. And the best way to do that is to brace your core like somebody's gonna punch you in the stomach. And then squeeze the cheeks, flex your glutes. That'll keep your hips steady. All right, ready, set, go. You can have the back of your hand, or you can have your thumb lift toward the ceiling. Having thumb up will be a little easier on the shoulders. 10 seconds left. And time. Coming back down to the mat. The movement that we're making is this W right here. Ready, set, go. Five seconds left. Time, all right. Go ahead and stand. We're back to those squats. Ready, set, go. Reach those fingertips to touch the floor. Just make sure you keep your weight back on your heels as you reach down to protect that lower back. 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, 2 rounds down, 2 to go. I'm sorry, 1 to go. So we're gonna come back to the push-up one last time. All right, a couple of big deep breaths here. We're right back at it. All right, ready? Get set up in your push-up position. Ready, set, go. "15 seconds left here. Five more seconds. Time. Okay, back down to the floor here. We're doing the W's. Ready, set, go. Exhale as you raise those hands up. Inhale on the way back down. Go for a 1 second pause at the top. And time. All right, last round of those squats. Ready, set, go. Keep moving, keep going the whole time. 10 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, nice work. 2 circuits done. 1 more circuit to go. Now is a good time to take a sip of water. Let me run you through a demo of this last circuit here. So we're gonna start, it's gonna be a little more balance intensive. So we're going to start with one knee lifted to hip height. From there, we're going to reach that foot back, and we're going to come down to a reverse lunge. Bring it right back up to that flexed hip position, and then switch. So you've got to start and end that repetition with the knee high before you switch sides. From there, we are going to go to a side plank on the forearms. So from this forearm position, we're going to carefully switch to the other side. We've done this on extended arms before. Now it's a little more core intensive. Take your time. We're not going for crazy high repetitions. We're trying to maintain that perfect side plank no matter where you are in that transition. And then from there, we'll stand and we'll do those, either a lateral hop or more of a speed skater where you're staying as low as possible. Okay, all right, get ready here. Let's start with that reverse lunge. So, one knee up, ready, set, go. Make sure you bring the knee back up at the end of that repetition before you switch legs. This will definitely be challenging in terms of balance and time. Good. So coming down to the mat, let's get set up. Actually start in a normal plank position. Ready, set, go. And then rotate your body to one side plank. Come back to a good strict plank. Transition to the other side. If it's uncomfortable to roll from the sides of the feet to the toes, just walk your feet to the different positions here. 5 more seconds. And time. Go ahead and stand. We've got those speed skaters next. So work on staying low. Ready, set, go. Soft landing, wide hops. Your goal, I got a slippery rug that's moving, but your goal is to stay low and to move quick. This whole rug is just traveling with me. Needs a mat under it, I think. 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, 1 round down, 2 to go. Quick little break here. Okay, so we're gonna come back to that flexed hip position. I'm gonna start with the other foot lifted this time. Ready, set, go. Back to the reverse lunge. Bring that knee right back up to a flexed hip position. Almost there. And time. Come on down to your mat here. Let's get set up for that plank. So again, ready, set, go. Whether you're on your toes or your knees, you can transition from one side to the other and just actually move your feet to each position that you need to set up in so that you're not rolling across the toes or rolling across the side of the foot. Just 5 more seconds. And time. Okay. Come on up to standing. We're gonna be going back to those speed skaters again. Ready, set, go. I'm gonna keep mine pretty small so that I don't slip across the floor here. If you have a rug on a wood floor and it slides like this, maybe that's an added challenge. And 3, 2, 1, and time. Quick little break here. We got one more round of those. So on this last round, see if you can move through these lunge movements a little bit faster, but we still want to start and stop each repetition with that high knee. So get yourself set up, ready, set, go. Five seconds left. And time. Okay, last time with these side planks. Ready, set, go. Smooth transitions here. Keep your body in a good plank the entire time. No sticking your butt out. From the crown of your head, really through your heels, should remain in that strict plank. Almost there. 3, 2, 1, rest. Last time for that speed skater. Ready, set, go. I'm taking small jumps. See if I can get off the rug. I'm doing small jumps. Your goal is to go as wide as possible here. Ten seconds left. Time. Good. Nice. Good work. So the bulk of that workout is done. Next, I want to run through 3 rounds of mountain climbers, and then we'll finish up with some stretching specifically for the Zoom neck. So part of the issue with working from home is you may not have a desk or office setup that's as well tailored to your height and your size as maybe an office setup is. So if you look up ergonomic assessment or ergonomic self-assessment or something like that online, you can find some videos and some pictures of the height that your desk should be versus your arms, how to position your keyboard, how to position your monitor. So if you've maybe done that at work but haven't done that at home, today would be a good day to just do a self-assessment in terms of your workstation. And if you're like sitting on the couch and doing computer work, or maybe sitting in an armchair doing computer work on a laptop, it might be worthwhile to set yourself up at the desk, set yourself up at the dining room table, and see how that treats you. So, at any rate, what we'll do for abs here is we're gonna do 3 rounds, 45 seconds of mountain climbers. The first one I want you to work on, call it like a Spider-Man. So from that push-up position, you're gonna bring one knee out to the side. So this is gonna be more oblique focused, kind of a tricky way to pull that knee away from the floor. We'll start there, 45 seconds, ready, set, go. Take your time, do it right. Focus on contracting the abs to pull that elbow and knee together. Exhale as you bring that knee to the elbow, or elbow to the knee. 10 seconds left. 5 seconds left. And rest. Take a little break here. Next, we're going to go for a mountain climber where we simply cross opposite knee to opposite elbow. So from that push-up position, you'll just twist one knee toward the opposite elbow. Let's start up in about 5 seconds here. Ready, set, go. Still exhaling as we twist. Crunch the knee and the elbow together. And keep your foot away from the floor as that knee pulls in. "15 seconds to go here. Three, 2, 1, and rest. 2 down, 1 to go. Remember, you can always modify these if you need to shorten them in terms of time. But don't pick the hardest version of an exercise if you're still working your way into it. Start with an easier variation and simply work your way up in terms of time, then add some difficulty to that exercise. So let's start up here in about 10 seconds. Ready, set, go. This time we're just doing a normal mountain climber. Knees coming straight toward your chest. Marching in place here. All of those same rules apply though. We're still crunching the knee to the chest. We're still focusing on contracting those abs. Steady breathing, steady pace here. 15 seconds left. Five seconds to go. And time. All right. Good job today. So, for stretching your neck, couple good options here. Simple way to start to stretch your upper traps, tops of the shoulders. Whether you're seated on the floor, standing, maybe seated in a chair, doesn't matter so much. And actually, if you're seated in a chair, you can hold on to the bottom of the seat. But we're simply going to take left ear to left shoulder. And that's going to give you a stretch down the side of the neck, out across top of the shoulder. And you can play with subtly adjusting the angle of your head. You might be looking down toward the floor slightly. You might look up toward the ceiling. Maybe slowly move between the two. Come back up to center. And then right ear toward right shoulder. So this is maybe a simple stretch, but it's still really effective. You just have to figure out, where do I get the best stretch? Am I looking slightly down toward the floor? Maybe I'm turning my gaze up toward the ceiling. Maybe I'm looking straight forward. And if this free hand were to hold the bottom of the chair, the bottom of the seat, then you get a little bit more stretch all the way through the top of that shoulder. So that's upper trap stretch. Next, if we want to hit levator scap, which runs from sort of the base of the skull down toward top of the shoulder blade. So similar area, but the difference is that we need to look down at our armpit. So you're still going to take ear to shoulder, but you're also going to turn your nose toward your armpit, which right now might be a little daring. So you can also use a hand to pull the crown of your head forward. And you'll know when you really get this stretch right, you'll feel it all the way down to the top of the shoulder blade. So now on the other side, whichever side you're looking toward, use that hand to pull the crown of the head forward, nose to armpit. You can also, simply trace circles with the crown of your head. You can go all the way and do sort of a full circle. Just make sure that if you bring your head back, rather than trying to bring the back of your head toward the floor behind you, think of bringing your chin toward the ceiling. So that as you come around that circle, now we're getting all this nice stretch through the front of the neck, rather than feeling like you're sort of crunching the back side of your neck. If it feels like you're sort of shutting down your neck between your vertebrae, then you need to think about the front of the neck and making a long front of your neck, more so than crunching the back. So if you trace circles with your head, chin toward chest, and then chin toward the sky as you come back. I really like that. I feel like I get the front of my neck loosened up a little bit. Next, if you clasp your hands, you're going to place those clasped hands on the highest part of your head. So the very, very top of your head, crown of your head. Then you're going to pull the top of your head forward. And in doing so, that's going to pull chin to chest. And from here, if we think about making the longest back of your neck that you can, this is going to stretch those suboccipital muscles that are right at the base of the skull. When we get, headaches from being stressed out, or if we've been sitting in the car too long or at the desk too long, feel like we can't drop the shoulders away from the ears. This can be really nice, especially if you pair it with upper trap, levator scap stretch. So clasp those hands, put them on the top of your head, pull the top of your head forward, chin to chest, long back of the neck. And you can change the angle. Maybe you look down toward one hip or the other hip. You can kind of roll your head in your hands, but that stretch should be more toward the base of the skull. Next thing to think about with stretching out that neck, if you've been seated at a computer all day, maybe you've been a wee bit stressed out, simply addressing your neck may not do the trick, and maybe you need to think about what your mid-back is doing, and that's where cat, cow, cat, camel, there's a number of different versions of this, but if you start on all fours and simply drop your chest toward the floor first, your shoulder blades will squeeze together here. We're moving the shoulder blades back behind you, and then the camel, depending on who's naming this and who's doing it, the other option is to then push your body away from the floor. So you're rounding the mid-back, you're creating space between the shoulder blades, and then we simply sink back down. You can add a little bit of an arch to the back, maybe look up toward the ceiling, and then around the back. Maybe tuck your chin toward your chest here, push the floor away, stretch between the shoulder blades. So that can be really nice. Simply dropping into child's pose is another good option because we're stretching out those lats, and your lats are responsible for bringing your humerus down to your side. And so if you've been at a computer and you're working right here, you're kind of stuck and stiff, then this will help you to raise those arms up, roll those shoulders back. So hands on the floor out in front of you, knees wide, and then sink your head down toward the floor. Maybe a slight rounding of the back. Maybe you're just relaxing your entire spine down toward the floor. But this will get those shoulders stretched out a bit, and that can take some of the tension away that you've been feeling around the shoulders, around the neck. If you've been stationary, seated, this is a nice way to reverse that. So it's not that, it's not that computer work or Zoom meetings or anything like that are inherently bad for your posture. It's just spending too much time there. So, if you're doing a Zoom call or if you're doing work on the computer and you're seated for a long time, take 3 minutes, take 2 minutes to just get up and move around. And maybe that's just doing shoulder rolls. Maybe that's doing those neck circles. Maybe that's 2 minutes of stretching, but just get your blood flowing, get yourself moving to break up all that time that you're spending seated. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for showing up today. If you have any questions about the neck stretches, you can find me on Facebook. Even though I'm using the club's account right now, you can find me on Facebook, ask me questions, and maybe we'll do a little bit more neck stretching on Friday. Yeah, if you're trying to remain, eye contact the whole time, that might be a little tough, Peggy. But see if maybe a few minutes of stretching after the call is enough. Maybe play with the height of the camera. I don't know. I wish I had better advice for you. At any rate, give those stretches a try. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week, and I'll see you on Friday.